What's up, guys? Welcome into Packers Total Access. My name is Clayton. You can check us out on Packernet.com. Find me on Twitter at Packers_access. Email us, PackersTotalAccess@gmail.com. You can text us 865-658-5824. Join alongside Tim in Green Bay. We got Emilio in Tennessee here to talk a little Packers and more specifically this huge win over the Houston Texans as the Packers improve to 5-2 on the year. The NFC North just continuing to dominate. We'll kind of talk about all that as well. It's a Victory Monday, baby. I'm just going to go ahead and tell you right now, we're probably not going to learn anything tonight. We're just going to have a good time. There you go. Just like these two cats, we're going to extend the party another 24 hours before we do Chalk Talk, which is queued up and ready to go. So, yeah, that's kind of the plan tonight. I know the chat's already lit up. We'll get to that here in just a second. But first things first, that's what's going to happen there. So.
Did you do your homework and go watch that?
Either that guy or this guy might come after you.
I'd rather that guy than this guy, to be honest with you. That dude looks like he'd shake you down for $100. Does he not? It's got to be the best costume ever. Everybody on the pod's going, what are y'all showing? This costume of Jordan Love, and who's he dressed up as again, Emilio?
He's dressed up as Kevin and Marcus in the opening scene from White Chicks when they're in the when they're waiting for the ice cream delivery.
Who?
We're not going back down that, all right? We're not going back down that road, obviously. But, oh, man, let's get to the first Super Chat. You know what? I kind of like the vibe of that. Let's leave that up as we hit the Super Chat.
Yeah.
Dennis Shook with the Super Chat. Appreciate you, buddy. He says, if Love wins one Super Bowl, who will fans think is the best, Favre, Rodgers, or Love? I remember Favre more fondly than Rodgers for some reason. Can't explain it. Yeah, thank you for the Super Chat, man. It's a great question. It's just one of those things that you've kind of got three different players. Obviously, Favre was just in the era in which Favre played, he kind of rewrote the record books for passing. You know, there was no one that was really winging it around. If you took Favre from the mid-90s and put him into today, just strictly with his stats, I don't think it would look as flashy as most quarterbacks do. Now, with Favre having his hands on all the new offenses, the new OCs, them winging it around a yard constantly, not running a split backfield like Mike Holmgren did there in the early days. I'm sure he would have just as big, if not bigger, numbers than today's quarterbacks. But just different eras is kind of hard to describe. I guess the best way to answer this question that Dennis asked us is, guys, you can draft one for your franchise to have for the duration of their entire career. You got to choose one of these three to lead your franchise. They're starting their rookie year. Who would you take, man? It's tough. On the surface, I have to roll out Love immediately because there's just not enough body of work there yet, right? Yep. So and I understand why you're mentioning Love because he is kind of this hybrid of both of those quarterbacks. Man, for the fun factor, you want to say Favre, but for efficiency purposes, you want to say Rodgers. If Rodgers had that defense that Favre had in the 90s with Reggie White and Leroy Butler and Gilbert Brown and all those guys, I think Rodgers probably would have won a couple Super Bowls. But it's hard to tell with different eras, right? But How do you guys feel? Who'd you take, man? Favre, Rodgers, or Love if you're starting a franchise here?
I'm gonna take Brett. I'm gonna take the kid from the Kill. Just because he sat the longest when he got here, or I mean the shortest when he got here. I mean, you look at Aaron and Jordan, they sat for a couple of seasons. Brett got here, and then the Magic Man got hurt, and it was kind of time to throw him into the fire, and the rest is history. But to Dennis's point, like, I totally understand the sentiment. I look at these three quarterbacks, and number one, I'm grateful that in my lifetime I've got to see quarterback play like this from era to era, and each one of them, in my opinion, is championship caliber. You know, Favre got one, Aaron got one, and I know Jordan's going to get one too. So when I look at these three quarterbacks, I think champions.
Yeah, exactly. I would say that Favre got me, into football. I had a number 4 jersey when I was a kid, kind of thing. I remember it, his dad's game. That one stuck in my memory. But then I grew up with Rodgers, so I think I'd probably have to go with Aaron. Just, being methodical, like Clayton was saying, we've always had a good O-line. If we had a solid D around him, I think he would be in better shape. But to Dennis's point, if Love does win a Super Bowl, I think I would lean towards Love just because of his demeanor and how he kind of carries himself as a leader. I like, how Rodgers did handle it for a while, but it's just, I think that, Love is, one one of a very minute. And I think we're just blessed to have him.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
All great points, man, for sure. Again, I think I would have to lean Rodgers, but for the fun factor, man, Favre, I get it if someone wants to go with Favre for sure. Jarrell Lee points out, thank you for the super chat, Dennis. We appreciate you, bub. Jarrell Lee says, Brett Favre was drafted by Atlanta. Thank you, Atlanta. Yes, sir, he was.
Thank you, Jerry Glanville, for being wrong about the kid.
Exactly.
Harry Cheese also.
Thank you, Ron Wolf, for being right, taking a gamble. I love it.
Harry Cheese also just saying, Brett Favre still wouldn't know what a nickel defense is. That's true. That's
and
true.
I guarantee
his receiving is tough.
His answer would be the same too, Amelia. He'd go, "Who the hell cares?"
Yeah, throw where they're not.
I love it, man. So let's continue on this Victory Monday. Obviously, this I caught this after the game last night and was able to grab it here. And obviously, I think we played a little bit of it last night. But Tucker Craft, I said, waking up hungover on Victory Monday, like, look at my boy Tuck in there, man. Looks like Emilio on the dance floor, no doubt about it.
Hey, gangsters don't dance, they boogie. That's the Tuck Norris boogie right there.
Oh, that's a get me out of here. But I'm happy we got the dub.
Yeah, let's go get in the ice bath, right?
Yeah.
That one. Nah, it's Tucker Craft's awesome, man. And then I think we have another tweet here from him as well.
Depends on what the jam was that they were playing too. I mean, maybe it just wasn't his, hype. He was at 80% hype level. He needs something else to get him to hit that 100%.
No doubt. He also tweeted this out. He put, as iron sharpens iron, so a friend sharpens a friend. Victory Monday. It shows obviously Romeo Dobbs, Tucker Craft, and Jaden Reed celebrating together in the end zone. This dude just brings a youthful energy, but also has that madman to him. And he has the opportunity, and I say opportunity intentionally because it's really, really early, but he has the opportunity to be our George Kittle. And to think that Love has him as a tight end, that diving catch, guys, that's not normal. Like that's a superstar play. Him making that diving grab, just absolutely awesome. Number one Packer fan says Tuck had an engine to go fix. LOL.
I can see that.
Yeah.
Got to go get an oil change done. Yeah, we just finished up the game, but man, truck hit that 3,500 miles. I gotta do that one.
Definitely, man. Oh man, he's going to be a blast to watch for the next for the foreseeable future. No doubt about that. Now, another thing that came across the wire, I tweeted out a close-up video, and we'll get to it here in a second since it's Victory Monday. A close-up video of the hold that Daniel Whelan obviously saved there on the final play of the game with the game-winning field goal, but it was at Twins Stinkt, I think is how you say it. Actually posted this and said Slayton is Monday vibes. Look at Slayton on this picture. You see him, Emilio? Look at my man. He is spread eagle. I mean, he's just so fired up that kick went through. Of all and I love how Sean Ryan just got his ass kicked. He's on the ground watching it go through. Just two different perspectives there, right? You got TJ Slayton basically dancing.
TJ, did they get by you, my friend? What are they?
I don't know.
Did he block anyone?
I don't know, but the best part is you can see the ball in this shot, and the ball has not even made it through the uprights yet.
There's three.
Big TJ already knows what time it is. Look at 93. I love it.
There's three guys behind him too, right? It's not like he even did his job.
Yeah, right. Yeah, what happened there?
Yeah, we're good. The guy that you've seen streak across the middle, I don't think it was TJ Slayton's his responsibility nonetheless. So not a good look there for Slayton.
Two biggest plays of the game for TJ. This one right here, and then him standing on the sidelines, shoulder checking CJ Stroud. Highlights of the game.
Oh, awesome, man. So
and that's Tuck right there on the corner there. He was saying in his interview that he wasn't on the pressure side of the field goal block, so he was actually able to watch the whole thing, he said. So he's on the right side if we're looking at it from here.
Got it. So he's protecting that edge from that gun off the edge. Right?
He said he was telling he's like, yeah, I got to see the whole thing. He said I wasn't on pressure side, so it was just awesome that he banged it, right?
Yeah. And here is the hold. I tried to zoom in on the all 22 with the end zone cam here. So you're going to see Daniel Whelan save the game here. Look at this snap.
Oh,
so clean, man. And McManus waiting just a split second too to give him just enough time, right? You just a little drag there, bang.
He basically hesitated his second step. You could see it. He kind of leaned in and just paused for a minute. But man, great job by Danny Boy right there, saving the game. I mean,
And
we've
he
seen
was-
worse. We've seen worse snaps than that, but we've certainly seen better.
Right. Right. Yeah, Tim, we can get to that. No, but no, but McManus was saying that he didn't get a chance to tell the guys, but that if he can get him, he said, I'll always take a practice kick. He said, he's confident that he's not going to miss back to back kind of thing. So at least take that practice kick, see where we're at, get a range, feel for the wind, all that. So I'm glad that first operation went smooth. The second one definitely needed to sharpen up. We're thankful to have Whelan banging punts and saving that front. I mean, that hits your front knee, it's over. He stopped it before it hit his knee, messed up the whole jolt, got it up, and set laces out. You see him when the kick comes up. We're staring at the laces, so perfect.
Absolutely.
Definitely. Yeah, and again, just a really cool play, and to watch Slayton one more time.
Yeah.
What did Slayton actually do
What's
here?
he doing down there?
Let's see. Yeah, he just whiffed on everybody.
He stayed home though. He stayed home. He didn't get
get
blown up,
pancaked.
Yeah. One went on your inside, one went on your outside. They both kind of slipped through.
Yeah, that's awesome.
I love it.
So-
I like that clip of McManus post game where he kind of talked about high pressure situations and that he thrives and lives for that moment. One of the reasons that he chose that position. You got to love that, man.
Yeah.
That's that Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant kind of mentality, right? Game's on the line. Give me the ball. Let me do my thing. Never going to be scared in the face of pressure. So happy that he's here.
Yeah, same, man. I really am, dude. I think he's going to make a big difference. And again, kudos to Goody for admitting the mistake and moving forward, right? That's the big thing there. So there's no two ways about that. And let's see here. We actually got some long snapper news, too, that came down the wire a couple hours ago, thanks to Emilio and Tim here. I think it was Tim. Was it Tim or which one was it? It was you.
It was Emilio.
Yeah.
So Emilio caught it. He said, Matt Schneidman put this tweet out. It says, Packers have released long snapper Matt Orzik. Appears to be just a procedural move to activate defensive lineman Jonathan Ford off IR because he started the season on IR. Packers will likely re-sign Orzik later this week before cutting Ford and re-signing him to the practice squad. Okay, got it. So
little
initially,
business, little house cleaning. That's all.
Yeah, initially I told the guys, I said, oh, man, this makes me worried about Devontae Wyatt, but I didn't read the entire tweet till just now. I was kind of thinking, okay, if they're signing Jonathan Ford to the active roster, then maybe Wyatt goes to the IR and he's a little more hurt than we thought, but definitely not the case here. It's just procedural move to get Jonathan Ford back to the practice squad.
Definitely has nothing to do with that bad snap, right?
That's what at first I was worried Clayton's tweet put him on blast, and then Orzic was just done,
Yeah. And I tweeted this out saying, the better view of Daniel Whelan saved the game, or the better view of how Daniel Whelan saved the game for the Packers due to such a stud. And there were so many comments. It was like, horrible snap, horrible snap, horrible snap. I'm like, Jesus, y'all, can we have a positive moment here for just a second?
Yeah.
Like I said, it was a bad snap, but it wasn't, dog crap terrible. Like we've seen way worse.
Can we go back and watch the first kick? Right? I bet that snap was probably money. I just haven't, that clip hasn't gotten spun around. I haven't gone back and watched it. But
I can't remember who said it on X too, but somebody said it's like 50% of the snaps from long snappers on field goals aren't perfect. Like, you know what I mean? Like 50% of the time they're off a little bit. That's a hard job to do. And they've got the science down to where they know, where the laces are going to be when the holder catches it and everything.
Right.
So,
you're basically throwing a pass between your legs and you're trying to put it in a 8-by-inch square probably.
Yeah.
I think of Daniel Whelan as our holder, and even if this went even more sideways than it did, I got to believe that he would have had the wherewithal to not try and put it down and to pull it out and run or pull it out and try to do something, because we had 3 ticks on the clock. That is your last play of the game, whether or not you score. And it's just a blessing to have a guy like that. He brings so much more than just that big leg in the punting game. He really does.
Yeah. So you're telling me he's going to pull a Shane Falco when Nigel Gruff couldn't make that kick at the end there, and he just picks the ball up and peels around and takes it to the house?
I mean, you got to know, right? Like, if he bobbled it, if you have a bobble, there's no way you're getting a kickoff. So you got to know as a holder, you got to get creative there.
I'd love to know what our hot play is for that. I'd love to know it. I bet Richard's got one set up. I would just love to know what it is.
Yeah, it's called Run, Danny, Run.
Yeah,
that's
like Toolfist was saying, I remember we talked about that. His ability to grab bad snaps unmatched. Remember a couple weeks ago on that punt, he had skied up, grabbed that thing one-handed, so we didn't have the safety.
Yes.
Beautiful. So his hand-eye is key. I'm glad we got him in at holder.
Talk about a
Johnny
bad
Boy
snap.
Clifford right there right now.
That was a bad snap. That one almost hit the crossbar.
No doubt. So shout out to the Kid 88 on Twitter for sending this picture. He actually took this picture at Lambeau for the background tonight. Really appreciate him. And we've got someone else here. We'll get to his email here in a little bit. Dylan, who listens to the show, is actually from Canada, who made his way down to the game. He had asked for a few recommendations on restaurants, stuff like that. So I see that they made it over to Crow's West, which is awesome. He also provided this one we'll be using from time to time. Oh, nope, not that one. Sorry. This one we'll be using from time to time, which is another beautiful mid-afternoon shot there, man. You just love it. So, again, thank you guys for sending those in, man. We got the best viewers, listeners, fellow fans on the face of the planet, dude. It's absolutely awesome. All right, so we got the transactional news out of the way there. Let's move along to the locker room speech from Matt LaFleur. How's that sound, guys?
That
Sounds good.
All right. So here we go. This was Matt LaFleur after the win in the locker room yesterday as they defeated the Houston Texans. Obviously, they're at Lambeau Field. Here's Coach LaFleur.
I mean, that went down to the last second, man. Give it up for everybody. We knew we'd take some punches, and so much in this game is how you respond. We found a way to get it done. Good job. A couple guys I'd like to mention. This guy let us down there on that drive. Jay Love finished. Romeo Dobbs had 8 for 95. And Josh Jacobs, big dog. Big dog. Big dog. Give it up for our defense. Hey, man, 22 points, and there were some unfavorable situations, some bad situations
I'll say
that we put you guys in, and way to stay strong, man, and find a way. We had X with the sack, RG with the sack, and Eric Wilson with 2 sacks. Will, I got 3 game balls today. All right. First one, we just talked about the defense. And this guy shows up every week. Where's Jeff Hafley at?
Yes! Go ass up here, Hal! Ass up here, Hal! Yeah, Hal! Yeah, Hal!
Listen what Coach LaFleur says right here. It's absolutely huge. Listen to this.
He calls it an aggressive-ass game, and it's because of the trust he has in the men in this room. So great job defensively.
Hell yeah, Hal.
This guy totally flipped the field today, man. He had 5 punts, averaged 57 yards a punt.
Daniel Whelan is 223% Caucasian, no doubt.
This guy just got here a few days ago.
Let's go. Let's lock in, man.
Tack on 3, 1, 2, 3.
That don't fire you up, man. Oh, absolutely awesome. And obviously, McManus, he's already got the new nickname. They say that the young guys are throwing the nicknames around. They're calling him Uncle. They're calling him Dad, which is hilarious because he's, only 33 years old or something, right?
Yeah,
Like,
he's the oldest guy on the team now, right?
Right, yeah. It's just hilarious. That
I know
the
Preston
oldest
Smith's
on the
happy right now, right? Because wasn't Preston Smith the oldest before McManus got here?
Yeah.
The rest of the team's mad at him for bringing the average up.
I love it. Let's go to the chat here real quick. Carl K says the quarterback I started with long ago was Bart Starr. So I've seen Starr through Love. Amazing history. Wow. That's absolutely awesome, Carl.
That's awesome.
To think about that, man, to be able to watch Bart Starr back in the day. Me and Tim pulled up an old game the other night when I was just uploading the pod and everything. We were kind of watching it. It was from 1980. What was it, Tim? 1980.
83, I think it was.
Yeah. 1983, and then Bart Starr, they do a pregame interview with him as the head coach. It was just great, man. You talk a little snow flying. I think what was it in the one I showed you was actually played in Indianapolis or Baltimore, right? I think it was Indianapolis Colts, and snow was flying in their outdoor stadium. And I can only imagine what it'd be like if all these cold weather teams hadn't switched to domes. But Tim Chase in the chat says Packers don't win yesterday without Romeo Doubs. Amen, brother. Amen. That dude, he made chalk talk on a play, and I actually put a tweet out. I'm a little nervous about showing it because it was a CBS broadcast. I don't want to break any copyright rules here. But if you guys – this wasn't on chalk talk, but on the opening drive, if you'll go back, I actually put a tweet out. You can find it pretty easy where he, just annihilates this poor Texan guy. Like, he runs an out route and puts him on his face. Oh, bro, it is nasty. Yeah. Nasty.
That was the first one on that highlight roll. I saw that earlier, man. Mm-hmm. That was incredible. Just absolutely cooked.
Definitely. And he made chalk talk with the next to last play, fourth quarter with only a minute left, 2nd and 10 play. He gets 12 yards, picks up the first down, gets him closer to the field goal. And it was just a great hands catch. That dude, we keep saying Jaden Reed's the number one. I don't know, man. Dobby might have something to say about that by the time the season's over, dude, because he is balling out. And you could tell he's just a man on a freaking mission. And again, yesterday you seen Tay Wicks at the boundary X occasionally. So they're definitely continuing to move Dobbs around a little bit there in that regard. So Tay Wicks is a good candidate for boundary X because you want that isolation, that playing in the phone booth there on the small side of the field, which what we mean by that when we say boundary X and we're talking short side of the field, the skill set that goes along with that is like a Devontae Adams type. Now, Tay could move around, right? He could play any position on the field. And I'm sure that they have plans for Tay Wicks to do that. They have plans for Romeo to do that. But when you put those guys in that phone booth over there, you've got this huge field side opposite of them, and you've got to really focus the defense on that field side because all defense is all football is attacking space and defending space, right? So you put your guy that can win in those small spaces over on the left, and obviously Dontavion Wicks is an excellent route runner. He's going to create opportunities to throw to him in those one-on-one matchups, and Romes has got the strong hands. If you could take Tay Wicks' route running ability and couple it with Romes' hands, you would have an all-pro wide receiver, no doubt about it. But, again, it's just certain things that each of them have got to work on in their game. But, yeah, I'm with you, man. Romeo Doubs, we definitely don't win that game without him, man, no doubt. Rock says in the chat, good to see you, buddy. He says, sending love, healing energy, and prayers to 7. We love you, Quay. Yes. Has anybody heard anything there? I'm sure he's in concussion protocol, right? So we'll probably know by Wednesday or Thursday. If he's not practicing by Thursday, there's a good chance he won't be playing this weekend. But it was good to see him up and moving around. It was just obviously you never want to. Mm-hmm. It's never not a serious issue when someone gets a concussion, obviously. But when you see what happened to like the offensive lineman in the game last night, where he gets involved, So
it's good to see him get up and get off the field on his own power, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
and I believe this is his second or third. I think he had one last year, and I know he had one his rookie year. So
definitely, Quay, saying, right?
Yeah, Quay. Yeah, for sure. So I'm with IROC, man. Prayers for Quay Walker, our Georgia Bulldog alum. Hopefully all is well.
Definitely. Ron Samuel in the chat said 33rd team guys called what the Packers were doing, quote, slow playing the run in order to stop the play action that Houston excels at. Not sure what they meant. It's exactly what we've been talking about, Ron. When you look at the tape, you don't see these guys attacking the football up front. You might have one guy that's like you pin your ears back and everyone else is really focused on throwing lanes, protecting the run gaps. So you're doing a little run stunning, meaning basically, even though you're running a stunt, you've still got your gap assignments for if they run the football. So in a nutshell, what it means is you're playing less aggressive up front is what you're doing. And we've been trying to show it and explain it on Chalk Talk because there's so many people that are like, this pass rush sucks. It's like these guys didn't forget the pass rush overnight. The answer is always on the tape. If you go to the tape, you can see. I can show you play after play after play where, okay, look at this guy right here. He's not actually going after the quarterback. He's simply occupying a double team, then sliding over and taking away the middle escape route and also get your hands up in the throwing lane. Mm-hmm. Now, you've seen more yesterday where they turned the dogs loose, right? And that's what LaFleur was talking about in that post-game speech there in the locker room. And there's some fans that go, oh, it's just coach speak. When he's saying, Rashawn Gary and Kenny Clark are two of the best in the league. When he talks about that stuff, people roll their eyes and go, he's just defending this guy. They're not. No, he's being honest. Like, they're doing exactly what they're coached and asked to do. So when you hear him say Coach Hafley had trust in guys to turn it loose yesterday, that should tell you, anyone, it should trigger a thought in your mind. Okay, this is what LaFleur was talking about. Like, they are playing conservative up front to keep everything in check so you don't give up those explosives. And then when they do call a game plan, like we seen Emilio in the second half at the Tennessee game, and then yesterday against Houston, it's what it says is, okay, Hafley has trust in the defense right now that you guys can play one-on-one up top, right, with whether it's cover one man or you want to fire 6 on a blitz. And what's crazy is you're still blitzing at a very low rate. I think second least in the league at like 17.1% or something.
Yeah,
right.
And, it's like they all come in spurts, right? Like Hafley will dial that up in like spurts, and then we'll get away from it and go back to it.
Right.
Which is, I think, what leads to that unpredictability that we have as a defense.
He's got those player zone calls, and he keeps adding to them. We were talking about that. It keeps expanding. It keeps getting better. And you can line up with 7 and still only bring 4 and still get pressure. That's key. That's so huge.
Bingo. Now, in order to do that, you've got to have Preston Smith and Rashawn Gary drop into coverage from time to time, right?
Right.
And that's
or
where
else you can't sell it, or else you can't sell that the pressure's coming. I mean, at that point, you have to back him off unless you're going to stack all the pass rushers over on one side and then all the DBs on the other and say, oh, we're not coming from, or we're going to come from the DB side and believe them.
Right. And that's what we were talking about last year, like when there was a handful of fans that were like, Joe Barry's a moron. What's he doing with Preston Smith in coverage? That's what he was doing too. Now, in some cases, they'd be caught in a not so advantageous situation where, okay, yeah, you have no choice here. Everything's going quick. You don't have a check to that. Get him out there and make sure you take away that quick hot. But again, man, Hafley has this thing humming, dude. It's a different level this year. There's no doubt about it. Respect Oranges in the chat. What position group are we supposed to complain about now? I love it. Well, you've seen it today. There's always got to be a bad guy. Respect Oranges. Today it was the long snapper. That's a pretty damn good day at the office. Or a week at the office. Yeah. If that's Cheesehead Murph says Big E.
Yes. Shout out to Murph, man. Elton Jenkins had himself a game. Quiet as kept yesterday.
Yeah. Donovan Schilling says, met Whelan when we were there in training camp. He is truly an amazing human being.
Yep.
Made my son feel super special and went out of his way to hang out with him for a few. That's awesome, man. We're a blessed fan base. There's no two ways about that.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
If you guys would take a quick second, hit that like button for us. Feel free to sub to the channel. Appreciate y'all hanging out with us here on this Victory Monday. Since we were already kind of talking defense, why don't we jump in here and hit this real quick? We were kind of talking a little to Rashawn Gary. I put this tweet out earlier today, and I said the Packers pass rusher, Rashawn Gary, was everywhere versus the Texans, piling up 7 pressures, led the team again. First, he goes from a wide 9 left completely across the formation to pressure Stroud outside of the left tackle. Second clip, he plays linebacker and hits the A gap. Leads the team now with 23 pressures. This is what I was talking about there. You can see he's actually leading the team in 23 pressures. Kenny Clark is second at 14. Preston Smith, TJ Slayton, and Devontae Wyatt each have 10. The fact that Devontae Wyatt had 3 sacks and 10 pressures, when he comes back, boys, oh my gosh. That needs to be the guy. If you've got one on the line that you're just going to turn loose on plays, that's the dude you want to do it with for sure. And once he starts garnering more attention out of that 3 tech, what you're going to see is less chipping on Gary. And what Hafley has done here, honestly, is he has created a lot of space for Rashawn Gary when it comes to people not being able to chip as much because they're moving them around a lot. Here's a play that we were talking about. So notice Gary over here is in the wide 9 left, okay? And we got this overload look, and we're mugging an A gap. Now, I think he actually fires here too. But what you're going to see is Kenny Clark is going to engage, LVN's going to engage, and Gary is going to come all the way around the formation, and he's actually going to cut off Stroud on this side. Look how much ground Rashawn Gary covers on this play. I'm pretty sure this is the play. So you see they both engage. LVN takes the double team. So remember we were talking about the chip, right? It's obvious they were setting up a double team on that side if one of those guys drop. Well, LVN eats that double team there. There's no chip there. Kenny's got a one-on-one. But Kenny's job isn't to push upfield. His job is to occupy that space. Now, watch Gary come all the way across. Also, you have Eric Wilson doing the same thing. Eric Wilson, 1, 2 guys Eric Wilson occupies. Now, look at the free rush here. You see the chip on Enigbare, or at least Enigbare engages over there. Mm-hmm. Enigbare is going to attack because he knows Rashawn is going to have contain.
Yep. They just overlap. Yeah. Beautiful. Beautiful scheme.
Perfect job by Enigbare here, too, shooting for the inside shoulder because he knows he's got help with Gary.
Yep.
And again, that's on 3rd down, too, guys.
Hey, can we go back pre-snap?
Absolutely.
Because this made me happy. Look who's in the middle of the field right there. 33.
Oh, yeah. No doubt, man.
I love it.
No doubt. And again, on the backside, it looked like it was cover 1 man. Is that right, Emilio? That's what you're seeing, too?
Looks like Ja. Yep. And then who's that?
Maybe Key right there.
Key maybe in his pocket. I remember seeing that. I just thought it was so big that Rashawn didn't get sucked into trying to trail Enigbare into the middle.
Right.
Yeah. The Whelan.
That's called unselfish football right there.
Yeah.
Bro.
Yeah. It's called buying in, right? We talked about last year, guys weren't bought in to the system and to the scheme. I think this team is 100% bought in.
I like this one.
Yeah, check out this play here. So if you look how they're lined up right now, okay, you've got your 2 linemen in a very, very wide look here. You got kind of a 4-eye, double 4-eye there. Could be a 4 if you want to split hairs. You could say it's a 4. But here's where Gary's standing up as a linebacker. So you still got your wide 9 over here, right? Watch what Gary does here last second. They're waiting. Everybody communicating. All right, let's get to our spot. Now we're going to move in. Now he can't change. See, you see Stroud just set to protection. He's going, whoever's the mock. Maybe 56 is the mock, whatever it is. Now Gary moves over to his spot. Ball snapped, and he's coming right up the gut. And again, why look, you think, okay, Gary, why don't you just attack him straight on? Why did you go to Stroud's left? Because he knows he's got all of this funnel over here. He's funneling Stroud right into the heavy pressure. And looky here. That is called unselfish football right there.
I can't help it. My eyes are drawn to 29 back there. Look at X play this play once. Everywhere Stroud goes, he goes.
Yep.
Look at that.
Just reading his eyes, man.
Yeah, man. It's uncanny.
And again, that was just a play that falls incomplete because and a great draw up. And again, you can't chip that, right? You can't. Here's what's crazy too is like you see when he goes to set the protection, right? 33 has to slide over. There's no chip on Gary now, right? So they're moving Gary around like crazy. All right, fire up the middle. Look how he puts the guard in a turnstile too. Look at this, just the quickness. Look at that. Somebody put a quarter in the merry go around. All right, again, so that forces an incompletion, just a huge play. Great scheme by our boy Jeff Hafley. I'm getting emotional over it. Great scheme by Hafley and a great play, just the athleticism there from Rashawn Gary. Anything else you see there, Emilio, you want to hit on?
He was saying how he had to get him in more advantageous spots, and how is that not an easy rush? He doesn't have to fight through a chip, and the guard was too worried about the tackle, and Quay didn't even come. Quay's on the edge in the wide 9. The tackle's probably worried about that. Okay, nope, I could just have Carl Brooks coming at me, and then the C's parted for Rashawn. Like you said, it's perfect that he played the inside out on his hip, send him to the shorter side of the field. Yeah, it's his right hand, but you have 2 other defenders over there on the line, and you're trying to get him out of bounds, shortest distance to the ball.
Unfortunately, Quay trips up Jair right here. You'll see as he drops back, he trips up Jair. But watch number 20. Nope, no problem. Hey, look, pick that up. Got to take that crosser away. Look at him stick to him.
Yep.
Just a great job.
And was still ready to come close on that running back.
Yeah, to make sure he didn't get the first down. Yep.
Kept the hat count advantage over there by Bullard doing that. We had 3-on-2 all day.
Yeah, so
crazy. You get a pressure and you have 10 in coverage. More like 9 even here, or not even. I'm sorry, not even 9. 9 play and 1 on the ground.
Yep,
definitely. All right, so in this tweet, I put a huge under-the-radar play from Packers Texans is this 2nd and 8 where rookie linebacker Edgerrin Cooper completely blows up this run leading to a 3rd and long where Houston will be forced to punt, selfless to attack the lead blocker so Eric Wilson could make the tackle. So again, everything is in unison together, right? We're going to zoom in here a little bit. So here's what you're going to see. And I got it kind of lined up there for you. So you're going to see Edgerrin Cooper is going to be lining up right here, okay? And what they're going to do is try to run a little lead sweep, right? They're gonna basically have a lead blocker out front. Rather than try to go after the ball carrier, watch how Edgerrin Cooper, watch him. He's going to jump out. Let's just play it a couple times here. He's going to jump out, get out front, and blow up the block. And, of course, he actually knocks the ball carrier down. You can see it really nice in this next angle right here. But, again, right there he is, okay? And Edgerrin Cooper, reading fire, lead, block, blow up. Watch him right here. Again, we'll hit it on loop. Look at that. Just attacking, man. No hesitation at all. Knowing I'm going to get that outside shoulder. That lead blocker is mine. Bang. Knocks him right into the running back. That forces a 3rd and long, which would lead to a punt. Those are the plays that are not going to make the highlight reel that are absolutely huge. I don't even think it made Chalk Talk. It might, yeah, it did. I think it did make Chalk Talk. But it's huge, man. And that's the stuff that you don't catch normally just watching a game as a casual fan. But that is such a big play in this ball game. A 2-point game. Just, I mean, that's what you're looking for a rookie.
You gotta love Dennis Rodman. I mean, Jair Alexander at the end of this play, just jaw jacking. Ja didn't do anything on this play except
touch your soul. He's talking.
Look.
What you think about what my boys did to you?
Oh, I love it.
He was keeping contained.
Yeah, right there you go, Emilio. Maintaining the edge. I love it.
That's hilarious. So, again, this is what we're talking about. If you look at the rest of the pass rush, too, of course, it's a run play. You don't really see a pass rush. Everybody come. Look at Kenny coming through untouched. Get off me, boy. Right? So, if this is a boot, poor Stroud's dead. If he fakes that toss and rolls right, I mean, look at the guys that are going to be all over him. But, again, just a great play by Edgerrin Cooper, man. 2-0 for this. This defense is united like Bates. Amen to that. Great drop there, 2-0 for this. Anything else you guys want to hit on that play there? Pretty straightforward, right?
Yeah.
All right. Let's move it along then. So just wanted to, like I said, hit on a couple things that stood out to me. We got one more defensive play here that have caught up. And, again, we're doing Chalk Talk tomorrow, but these are just real quick glances just to kind of break down some of the plays that stood out to me. And this tweet, I said, Xavier McKinney sets the tone on this first quarter 3rd down sack. Jeff Hafley in his bag with the double barrel sugar Tampa 2 TE stunt. And also with that TE stunt, you're taking away that mid-scramble, and he's going to bring the safety blitz off the edge. Oh, and Preston Smith dropping into coverage, too. Don't forget that, all right? So
Joe Barry.
Exactly, right. Let's roll the tape here. So, again, you're going to see there's Xavier on the edge, and the box cam will show a little bit better. Look at this, just clean, bang. I mean, it don't get any better than that. He got there so quick, and Stroud didn't have a clue what was going on. So watch the box cam here now. Look, you see how they're mugging? This is what we mean by double barrel sugar, okay? They're showing a double A-gap mug here. They call that double barrel. They're showing a blitz there. And when I say sugar, that means they're lying about it. They're sugaring them, all right?
Yep.
So you see both those guys bail out, and it's Tampa 2. So linebacker on the right, which is Quay, look at him take the number 2 and make sure he gets enough depth that if that guy goes vert, he's got him. And, again, this is what I'm talking about with Rashawn Gary. Watch Rashawn. He's going to skate all the way across the formation and end up in the A gap. Notice how he's not going after the quarterback either. If I get the grab here. You see how he's just protecting that middle gap? That's by design. Also, look at this guy rushing off the edge here. I can't tell, is it maybe Kobe Wooden? Notice how he is not trying to get through and get to the quarterback. See him?
Yep.
Right.
PFF is going to rule that as a bad grade. They're going to look at that and go -2, right? Because, and again, we don't know who the hell's grading the tape. So when you look at pressures, I'm going with next-gen stats because they're using GPS tracking. The ball's still in the quarterback's hand. If a player gets within 2 yards, that's considered a pressure with the ball in the quarterback's hand. I'm taking that over some nameless face that I don't know who's grading the tape. But again, it just, if you're casual and you watch that, you go, man, he really got doubled. He didn't get through at all. Gary didn't get any pressure at all. They're not trying to get to the quarterback here. They're taking away that, the scrambling lane. Like Kobe Wooden, if that's him over there, he's making sure that Stroud don't contain right. And then also look at our boy Preston Smith dropping into coverage, taking away that hot. Because if 19 goes hot right there, that's a quick game, right?
That ball's coming out right away, too, if Preston's not back there.
Yep.
And we don't get a sack here. Stroud's going to get rid of that throw.
Definitely. Even look at Kenny.
And Preston take that away from him.
It almost, to me, looks like on any individual play, random play, what Hafley's doing is you got one guy that's playing aggressive and everyone else has got gap assignments. Like, look at even Kenny on the left. Notice how Kenny isn't turning it up.
Right.
He's looking for that backside if CJ gets loose and wants to scramble out.
Yep.
So it's really unique how Hafley's calling this defense. I love it, man.
Absolutely. And look, what was this game 6, game 7 of the year? And he finally dialed up X on a blitz.
Yep.
I love it. And a great time to call something like this too, like you said, with the sugar. And then you got X playing near the line. You got to think Houston maybe saw that pre-snap, but they might have figured he was going to go in coverage, like he was going to run out of there. But to send him like this is amazing. I love it.
Definitely. You see anything there, Emilio, you want to hit on, bub?
Yeah, I just like how he's Matt was talking about it. He was able to just kind of fluctuate between here. We're seeing Tampa 2 earlier. We saw, it was cover 3. It's, cover 4. You got Rashawn walking up around. I love the double mug. That's, it's just, it puts everybody in a bind. Everyone's got to have a man when they're lined up like that. And it also does, it doesn't allow them to get to a second level if they're looking at a run play. You get into your man, you get to your gap, and you move forward. But beautiful that, like we were talking about, 7 on the line, 8 in there, whatever. Only end up bringing 4, and honestly, only end up really bringing 1 with, like you said, with authority, and just say that you put those front 3 on contain, and just you're just trying to keep that quarterback in the pocket. He's too much of a scrambler. It's there to keep him wrangled in, and I think you did a great job at it.
And the other cool thing about this too is when you get to this point here, notice this corner up here. This is actually invert Tampa 2. So this is one safety. Here's your other safety that's blitzing. He's going to bail out, cover 2 deep, right? Right here is going to be your second 2 deep. So it's what we call invert 2 when a corner plays deep half in a cover 2. And then, of course, Quay is locking eyes on the number 2. So you see 1, that's Diggs motion over. He's now the number 2, okay? So what Quay's got to do is it's basically a Tampa 2 match. If 2 goes vert, that's on Quay down the seam because they're in a 2 high. They're in that cover 2 look.
Right.
They be in the corner.
And honestly, he almost shells it as if it's a cover 0. He almost shells it as that entire front's coming and everybody's manned up. And now you have to make a decision, and then you peel out and everybody's got a spot.
And I'm glad you point that out too, because if you look here, the reason that Xavier is free, watch the center. Tell me who the center blocks here, fellas. Remember, because Quay's mugging in that double barrel, watch the center. Blocks no one.
Mm-hmm. Even the left guard and the right guard.
Yep. That's called +1, really +2 hat count there. So you got Xavier McKinney just stealing Mountain Dew from a baby right here, bro. It's over. Love it. Hafley was in his bag, no doubt about it. And again, watch the tape yourself, man. Dig into it. All right. Anybody who's hearing my voice right now, you guys on the pod too, don't just fall in line and just, nope, so-and-so, the podcaster said this. Clayton said that. You dig in. And you come up with your assessment, man. Don't feel like, I don't know where to start with that. That's BS. If this dumb redneck can figure out how defense and offense works in the NFL, you can. I promise you that. Jake G126 in the house says the crowd was fire. I was watching the guard tap the center a lot. Some of the biggest defensive plays, the crowd was loud. AF was a great game to be at. Definitely a playoff atmosphere. I wanted to say that earlier today. I was thinking about it. I definitely want to mention here on the air. If you're hearing my voice and you were at Lambeau yesterday, we always hear about when the crowd's too quiet. We always hear about the gold versus the green package. They're not getting loud. They're sitting down. You never hear about when they do good. It's just people only want to complain when the crowd isn't loud. You guys were awesome yesterday.
Yep.
Could you not hear it on the TV, guys?
Oh, for sure.
It was nuts. That's what we need, man. And for anyone who went to the game and supported like that, you guys are awesome, especially you too, Jake. Appreciate y'all, man. Absolutely awesome. So,
Lisa, see you on the other side.
Yeah, good stuff, Emilio.
That's all, folks.
That's the end of hour 1. For those of you on the pod, we'll see you on the other side for hour 2. Appreciate you.